Do you know I have a very large population of transgender? I am very trans friendly here. I have a lot of doctors that recommend all their patients to come to me
That's
because of the
great.
fact they feel comfortable walking into my office. I will treat anybody and everybody that wants treatment as
Right.
long as they follow the protocol and the guidelines that I have. And they're not strict. It's just a little bit of common sense and a little bit of effort on their part. But again, my
Love it.
office,
Yeah.
I treat everybody. Everybody. Everybody is welcome in my.
Hello, welcome to the Full Vagine.
Welcome to the Vagine.
I'm Tara. This is my co-host Kristen,
I'm Kristen.
and we are so excited today because I have my face queen. That's what I call her, Jill Bastille. She has over 30 years experience in esthetician, and I can't live without her. So please welcome Jill. And Jill,
Welcome, Jill. Thank you for
hi.
being here.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. And just tell us a little bit about you and how you even got here to where you are.
Okay, well, it's a little bit of a long story, so I will shorten it as much as I can. So I was in my late 20s and I really hated what I did for a living. And I said, I gotta change. I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I started thinking about what does Jill want to do? And I thought it's really important that I want to make people feel good about themselves. So I contemplated many different fields. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go and be an esthetician. And in the process, I decided to get a nail license and electrolysis certification. So many, many, many years ago, I went to school at night. I went for almost 2 years at night to get all the certifications that I needed. In the meantime, working full time during the day and paying a mortgage because I had bought a house. And right before I got finished, I got offered a job at a plastic surgeon's office. And I said, this is awesome. So I decided to go and work there, which was definitely a step down in pay, but I had to do it if I wanted to launch my career as a medical esthetician. So I worked there for approximately 2 years. And in the process, I found a job at a dermatology practice and I got hired there. So I said, all right, I'm going to leave this practice and I'm going to go into dermatology because I really feel that would be my forte. And it turned out to be my forte. I have been in the dermatology field for approximately 20 years. I worked at one practice for about 11 years and the other one for approximately 8, 9 years. And in the process, I crossed over into family practice. So that's where I get my whole background of plastics, dermatology, and family practice. And here it has led me 30 years later to Laser and Aesthetics by Jill LLC, where I'm a sole proprietor and I don't have anybody working for me. So I am your receptionist, your scheduler, your biller, and your practitioner. So that's where I'm at now. I've been here for approximately a little over 3 years, and it's the best move that I could have ever have made.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and it's just one of the things that I love about Jill is that you're not going to walk into her place and she's not going to sell you on things, right? She doesn't sell any products. She's going to give you recommendations for products, but it's not like, the $100 creams that you think that, work or whatever. Does what she needs to do with your face, tells you when she needs to see you again or what your journey may be, and that's it. Done. And you have great conversations and some therapy.
That goes for both ends here.
Yeah, right, right. And it's just awesome. It's great where I just had Jeff go for the brown spots. Of course I was trying to get him to go for years and he was like a little bit of a baby with pain.
That's a man thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he finally went and I love it. Jill's like, "Oh, I'm going to town on his ass."
Oh my God, I'm coming up. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
So do
It's
you, is the majority of the majority of your practice like middle-aged women, or is it like all ages? Or?
It's all ages, offer many treatments, for many different age groups. So we're going to start at the bottom here, where I see a lot of teenagers. I was
Yes.
in dermatology for almost 20 years. A lot of dermatologists tend to push Accutane. That is a very serious drug to put your child on. So again, like Tara said, I don't sell products in my office. The
Right.
problem is people go to the drugstore or they go to Sephora or any other place and they're standing in there scratching their head saying, what can I use? It's really very simple. The products that I recommend are very inexpensive. You just have to follow the directions that I tell you. So I have saved a lot of kids from going on Accutane. Granted, it takes quite some time, just like Accutane takes quite some time. It takes a good 6 months, especially going through puberty, but the changes are dramatic. I document everything. I take photos. I always send the parents before and after photos. It doesn't take long. It takes me 10 minutes to treat a kid, and it's very, very inexpensive compared to a lot of the dermatology practices, salons, and spas. They want your kid for a half hour to an hour. It's 10 minutes. They're in, they're out. They love it.
That's awesome.
So from that age group, I see kids between 9 and 19 for that particular procedure. I see a lot of women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s for laser hair removal. Laser hair
Uh,
removal works. People say, oh, it's not permanent. Yes, it is. I haven't done a maintenance treatment on my body in 19 years. I don't own a razor. If you don't want to own a razor, come and see me because I guarantee my work. I'm very good at what I do. I have a lot of people that go to a lot of the chains,
uh-huh.
a lot of dermatology practices, and a lot of other practices that have laser services. And unfortunately, they're miscommunicated on how it works. They're miscommunicated on their maintenance treatments. And they're also locked in where you have to sign a contract and you have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars up front. I don't do that. I don't give into that commercialized business.
Right.
That's
And
why I'm the sole proprietor of
right, and
my
I know
business.
that firsthand because I have investigated before Jill prices and procedures from other places. I live in Newtown. There's like an esthetician every 2 minutes, 2-minute drive. I think they just opened up another one.
The Real Housewives of Newtown.
Right, like Bella Med Spa, another or not Bella Med Spa, but like another med spa. And I leave Newtown and go to Jill because well, it's not just the price. Honestly, even if Jill was the same price, I would still go. It's the treatment. It works. I mean, that's why you go. And Jill's very thorough and she's upfront. She's gonna be like, you need 3 sessions. This is how much it is, yes or no, but you have to listen to me in order to get the results. So
Not to mention, here's
right?
where people fail. This is the big fail. Maintenance. Maintenance is so important for laser hair removal, acne,
Uh,
aging. So if I'm doing laser procedures for somebody who's aging, they're like, I'm 3 and I'm done. No, you have a birthday every year. I'm not stopping the aging process. I'm slowing it down. I am enhancing what you already have. So if I keep enhancing it, you're going to have results. So I'm not stopping the laws of aging. I'm slowing it down. A
Right.
lot of people think, well, how come you can't stop it? Well, stop having a birthday. We don't want that to happen.
brace
We want you to
yourself,
have a
right? We
birthday.
have to age.
Yes.
Otherwise, the opposite is not where, what we want, right?
And
You're
that's
either
The
aging or you're
alternative.
dead.
yeah.
Yeah, the alternative is death.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's what
so
Jill like will tell you up front too. Like, listen, you're not gonna come in here and your wrinkles are gonna be erased. Like
right.
I'm
Right, right.
gonna help it. I'm gonna give you a nice glow. But that's just a myth when you go into these places and they're like, this is gonna take your wrinkles away. This is gonna, all this kind of
Right.
BS that they give you. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So, and I see a lot of women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s for anti aging. Again, if you follow my protocol, it works. On my Facebook page for my laser aesthetic practice, I have a
Uh-huh.
lot of before and after photos. I am very big on documentation because sometimes you get people in here and they're like, I don't see it working. And I'm like, let me take some photos. So I go take the photos. And when I have a moment, I do a side by side and I send it to them and I say, see, and they're like, oh my gosh. I have this one particular patient, and she came in and she is very insecure the very first day that I saw her. And she has a lot of acne scarring. She had some pigmentation. She also has a touch of rosacea, which is redness to the skin, where you have blood vessels that are very close to the surface of the skin. So she comes in and I told her what I was going to do. I gave her the directions. I even put her on a home skincare regimen, which cost her $30 over the counter. $30.
Wow.
$30.
So
And
Anne
she
says
came in.
expensive stuff.
Right, exactly. She came in and I did 2 sessions, and what I did was I did microdermabrasion and I did laser genesis. So the third time she came in, mind you, these treatments are spaced 1 month apart. She came in and I took photos and I even posted them on my aesthetic page because the results were dramatic. She got about a 70% reduction in acne scarring. The
Wow.
pigmentary change, which is called a solar lentigo, which is from the sun, is gone. It will reoccur if she doesn't use sunscreen. So once a year, we'll have to zap that solar lentigo. And then for the rosacea, her skin tone is now milky white, smooth. Don't get me wrong, I haven't gotten rid of the acne scarring. It is improved by about 70%. That's dramatic. Not everybody gets those results in that many sessions. Some people need more, but I am very big on documenting and proving that my methodology works. So a
Right.
lot of times when you
Yeah.
go into a practice, they have all these new procedures and, micro needling and all this other stuff. I'm not a big fan of them. If there isn't a 10-year clinical study on it, I'm not using it. If I don't do it to me, I don't do it to you.
Right.
That's just the way my practice works.
And you also mentioned where this woman that you were treating needed, this many treatments. Not everybody is going to be the same.
Correct.
So you
Correct.
take individual where you look at them and you're like, okay, you need this. And then you look at another, you're going to need this. Could be completely different. And that's the
100%.
difference too, because when you go into these other places, their treatments are the same no matter who you are. Like
Right.
they already have it in a package, like, this is what you need, this is what you're getting, and that's, so I feel like I love that too about your practice. It's very individual, and
Correct.
when you take the time, somebody might need 2 or 4 treatments, so I love that too.
Right.
Yeah.
The key thing about my practice is it's a complimentary consultation. A lot of times you go to these places, they charge you for the consultation and then they apply it to your first visit. I don't do that. That's not what I'm about. What I'm about is making sure, one, you are comfortable walking into my office. Two, making sure that I give you the education that you need and you deserve so we can get to an endpoint that you're happy with. And number three, I am reachable. You don't have to call in office. Believe it or not, my cell phone number is my business number. I am reachable 24/7, 365 days a year by text. And if somebody wants to talk to me, I will schedule a time to talk to them. And if they need a FaceTime call, I will absolutely do that. It's so people feel comfortable and confident in not only what they're going to receive, but in my abilities to achieve the success that we're looking for.
Right. And because Jill knows there was, I think it was either my first or second treatment years ago I think it was the IPL,
It was
right?
the IPL.
And, to get those nasty brown spots off that I had because I wasn't using the right sunscreen. Now I do. But afterwards, I was like, Jill, what the fuck? My face. It was like, I mean,
Oh my God.
if you have a lot of brown spots, you're going to go through that. You're going to go
Right.
through, it's going to take like a week.
Right.
But remember, I texted her, I was like, and she was
Yes,
like,
and it was around Halloween. So I made her come in. I said, you got to wait a couple of weeks. She came
yes.
back in and I did it in the opposite direction. In 2 weeks, it was all gone. I said, see, you look like Frankenstein for Halloween.
Yes, yes. But she is so reachable because I've done that a couple times, where I'm like, or what's this? This new thing. What is that? Definitely you're reachable. But yeah, it's and this is Jill's famous line too. So, the treatments, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They don't tickle, you know.
They hurt.
They want results. Beauty is pain, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
Of course it is. Of
Right,
course, what us
right.
women always go through in life. Come
Always,
on.
yes, right? You go through labor, you could do this, whatever. But
Right.
Jill will be doing your face and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But she's like, "But this really, I don't feel a thing." And you're like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
She does. Tara is reaching back late in the chair going, "Look, this is
Right. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you, you know?
Oh
pretty
my
funny."
God.
Yeah, yeah. But listen, if Jeff could do it, anybody could do it.
Absolutely. I will leave it at that because of pink and confidentiality.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But
So I have a question around our aging skin and like hormones and like the effects that hormones have on like
right.
your skin once you get into perimenopause and menopause.
Yeah.
So, honestly, it's just being on a good skincare regimen. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. People think they got to spend two, three, $400 on a skincare regimen. That's not
Right.
true. Everybody wants to sell you everything under the sun for every problem that we have. And,
Right.
menopause is definitely one of the problems. I would come in and talk to me, and I will tell you what is going to work for your skin. And sometimes it's trial and error. I might have to recommend a couple of different things and we might have to tweak things here and there. But once we do that and we get you on that regimen, it's set
Mhm.
and you don't have to change it. People are like, well, I need to change my regimen every 6 months. No, you don't. Where's that written? You don't
Yeah.
have to do that. I have used the same things for many, 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 many years. And it
Yeah.
works because I'm living proof. Again, I practice what I preach. If I don't do it to me and I don't recommend it for myself, I'm not recommending it for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
There was like one thing you tell women or just people in general to put on their face like every day, like one thing that you would always go to. What is it?
Oh, yeah.
CeraVe AM moisturizer. It is exceptional. Two green pea sizes to your whole face. It has SPF of 30 in it. It's got moisturizer. It's phenomenal. And it's $15.
Yep. I use it.
$15.
Yep. And another good one too, Jill, that you told me for if you're going to be out in the sun, like, on the beach and you need sunscreen. Is it La Roche?
There's Yes, I like two different ones. I like La Roche-Posay's. It's a very light fluid formula. It's an SPF of 60, which you can get on Amazon. You can get it at Target, and you can also get it CVS.
I love
And
it.
then
It's not
the
greasy.
second one
Yeah, I love
is
it.
Neutrogena SPF 60 for the face. It is phenomenal. That's the one I like. I like that better than the La Roche-Posay only because it turns my skin a little bit on the yellow side, and I'm a cyclist and a runner, and I'm outside exercising all the time. So I go and I wipe my face, and I'm like, everything's yellow.
Oh my God.
So, but both of those products are exceptional.
Right. And it is so important too, especially i- this is what I was going to say too. It is a commitment also because if you're going to go and you're going to spend the money and you're going to get these laser treatments done, don't go back out in the sun and just like fry your face, which I used to do that because then you're just wasting your time, Jill's time, everybody's your money because you're not going to see the results. Like you have to work with Jill too. And it's
Well,
life changing a lot of times with, maybe don't go in the sun as much or put on the sunscreen.
Get under an umbrella.
100%. So I have a motto, and I say this to all the kids that come in here, all my adults, all my men, everybody that walks in here. My motto is what you put into it is what you get out of it. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're not going to be happy with the end result. If you
Right.
do everything, you are going to be. I have transformed so many people that were sun worshipers, and I lay it on the line. I am very open and I am very honest. And I let people know this is what you need to do if you want to improve your skin's health. Do you know what the answer to this question is, ladies? What is the largest organ of your body?
Yeah. Your skin.
Exactly. It protects all the other organs of your body and your skeletal
Right.
system. So, what do you have
Yeah.
to do? You take care of your heart, you take care of your lungs, take care of your
Yeah.
skin. Stop going in tanning beds. Stop
Right.
going in the sun without sunscreen. It's very, very important that you follow those few simple rules. People don't realize that it takes 10 to 15 years for photo damage to come out. So what you're treating now has been done in the past, and it's
Yeah.
taking this long for it to come out.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
they used to call me cherry red. Like I was not educated and or just didn't care. And I would just,
Yeah. I think a lot of young girls don't care.
right.
They just think it's better to like they look prettier when they're tan. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
100%.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I try to point out to my girls, there's definitely stars out there, that they may see on Instagram. And I'm like, her skin is beautiful and she's not tan. It's okay. Like
Yeah.
she's beautiful. You have beautiful skin. Please, please just listen to me on this one because I am like living proof of all the shit that have to, fix, or I hate the word fix, but treat,
Improve.
Yeah,
improve.
because it's
Improve.
really about your skin's health. And that's what I feel like, I really like about what you're saying, Jill, that it's less about, looking perfect and it's more about being healthy and the largest organ of our bodies, right? And as we age, like we really have to start taking care of ourselves. Like, and it's not about like I have to look perfect, but it's about like having healthy skin and glowing from like the inside out, you know?
100%. Like my motto is, in order to look good and feel good, you got to put the effort in and the time in. And it's not a lot. It's just putting sunscreen on and just using good products for your skin that doesn't cost $1 million.
Right.
I don't have to charge a lot of money for my procedures either because I am not in a dermatology practice. Trust me, I worked there for many, many years. And I promised myself if I ever went out on my own, I would make everything affordable so people can continue on this journey for as long
That's
as they
great.
want to continue on the journey. It's not about the
Right.
money for me. What it is, it's about your results. It's about how you feel about yourself. My website is jillmakesmebeautiful.com.
Yep, 100%.
And it's basically because I want people to feel good about themselves. Every patient
Right.
that walks through my door is beautiful. Do you know I have a very large population of transgender? I am very trans friendly here. I have a lot of doctors that recommend all their patients to come to me
That's
because of the
great.
fact they feel comfortable walking into my office. I will treat anybody and everybody that wants treatment as long as they follow the protocol and the guidelines that I have. And
Right.
they're not strict. It's just a little bit of common sense and a little bit of effort on their part. But again, my
Love it.
office, I treat everybody. Everybody. Everybody is welcome in my office.
Yep, and
I love that.
by the way, it's such a cute office. It's very warm and cozy, and I love it. It's
I'm thinking maybe I should schedule like during the day when Olivia's in school and I can like come up at lunch or something.
that's what
That's what a lot of people do because my office, I will tell you, I have a family as well. And for many, many years I worked sometimes Saturdays, sometimes at night. My office hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And believe it or not, people make arrangements to come in at those times. I will say though, I'm really busy too. I am overwhelmed with the response of my family, my friends, past patients for many, many years that travel near and far to see me, and my community. I don't
Yeah.
have to advertise. I see between 15 and 22 patients a day, and I am
Wow.
incredibly blessed, humbled, and thankful for that.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I
That's
remember
wonderful.
when
And I also love it that you're a female entrepreneur. You went out and you took the risk, you wear many hats, but in
many
the end, it's so impactful.
it is. I remember when she was like, "I'm going out on my own." I'm like, "I'm following. Where are you going? Just give me the
Yeah.
address."
Yes, and that was such a humbling time in my life that, I was in a practice and they said, I don't want this in here anymore. And my husband and my kids said, you're going on your own. Buy
Wow.
everything that you need. And I am incredibly blessed that I have the family that pushed me to do this. And once my friends and my patients figured it out, they're like, oh, you got this.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do. And I'm incredibly thankful for it.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it.
It's great. And I am on, I'm obviously, I know I've said that a million times, been with Jill for a long time. She has me on a schedule too, so and I stick to that schedule and it definitely works. It definitely does.
It does. Can I talk about some of the procedures that I offer?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I just want to give you a rundown of the things that I do because, again, there's a lot of things out there that people are looking into doing that I particularly don't like, only because of the reason one, I've tried them and I don't think they work, and two, that they don't have enough clinical studies for me to bring it into the office. So the things I offer are laser hair removal, laser of facial veins and leg veins, and I'm an expert at leg veins. I have several physicians that recommend their patients to come to me because I am very, very good at it. I treat patients for rosacea. I do a treatment called laser genesis for that, and it's basically, several treatments. There is no cure for rosacea. However, I can control it, and then there's maintenance required. I also do pigmentation, sun damage. I treat melasma, which is unfortunately a condition due to hormone. I can control that for a little while, and eventually, as you get older, I can cure that. I do microdermabrasions, glycolic acid peels, adult facials. So I do a 30-minute or a 60-minute customized facial. I also offer teen exfoliation, which is very inexpensive for the teenagers. I also do electrolysis, and that is hair removal, and I do it mainly for gray and white hair because laser works on all other colors of hair. And then I also offer microblading eyebrows.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's
I'm gonna
every
try that too.
yeah, every I mean, I haven't done all of them. I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And like I said, it just works. I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, you're using that cream, that's not gonna get rid of it. Sorry. It's not gonna
It's
happen.
funny because a lot of people think when you're using some types of creams and lotions and potions that they're going to get rid of things. Get rid of is a very big word in my book. It is called diminish, improve, but not get rid of. A lot of times, some lotions and potions are good if you're using the right ones and if they're stabilized correctly. If they're not stabilized properly, it's just a gimmick. And people are just trying to sell you everything under the sun. When you go into a lot of those beauty stores, everybody's like right at you and they want to sell you everything. You
Annoying.
don't
Yeah.
need all that stuff. You really and truly don't. And, a lot of my patients, when they come in and I say, hey, switch from that, stop spending the money on that. And especially what gets me is people who use toners and astringents. Save your money. You don't need them. People
Yeah.
don't realize that. And when they take it out, they're like, you're right. I don't need them. A
Right.
lot of times people overuse them and it can damage your skin. So I just say, don't use them.
Yes.
Right,
And
right, right.
and Jill, so if people want to make an appointment, they just call the
They
number,
can just text me.
text
Just
you.
send me a text message, identify yourself, say, hey, my name is so and so. I'd like to schedule a complimentary consultation for certain things. If somebody wants to talk about laser hair removal, I do a phone consultation. Or somebody wants to talk about rosacea, I could do a phone consult. A lot of times people send me photos of what they want to do. It saves them time and energy coming into the office. And I schedule them on certain days or certain times. I can even do them at night. The phone consult is about 10 or 15 minutes. And then that way they can see if it's right for them. And then we can proceed from there.
Right. And a lot of times too, like when I'm done my appointment, you just make the next one there
Correct.
at that time. That
Yep.
makes it easier too, where you're already booked, you're done, at the end of your
Yeah.
session when you need another one. But
Right.
so Jill, thank you so much for being
Well, thank you for being here with us.
it
It's
was
been a pleasure.
it's so great. And, obviously I'm such a huge fan and so proud of you too for going out on your own. It's just, it's not the easiest thing to do. And it wasn't. And, it's every day, like Kristen said, you wear many, many hats, but thank you so much for being on. And I think I'm seeing you soon, actually.
You might be.
Yeah, I'll be texting you to schedule some time
Yes.
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 for me to
All you
come
need to
in.
do is send me a text message. Ladies, it's been my honor being here. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Jill.
much.
We'll see you soon.
All
See you
right,
soon.
guys.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye.